Hello, I'm Una. You're very welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm making cards using only dies, no colouring or inking for a change. I'm also sharing some tips about how to solve the problem if your dies aren't cutting properly, so I hope you'll stick around for that. The alphabet die set is a Concord and 9th one. It cuts an outline and it cuts the inside of the letter. This is a really fun die to use. A Concord and 9th have a video showing the different fun ways you can use it. I use gold metallic card and holographic card. And in the first card, the inside part of the letter is the holographic card and the outside is gold. They can be a bit fiddly to work with. They might fall apart. So what I like to do is put little bits of double-sided tape on a part of the letter that will just keep both bits together. You don't have to put the tape all over the letter or anything like that. This is quite simple to do. The ampersand does need a couple of little bits, and so does the O, because there are inside outlines as well. Most letters are very simple. You just need to remove the double-sided tape from your scissors. By the way, if you're interested in knowing what anything is that I use in this video, the names of the products or the tools that I use, I list everything down below the video. You'll find the list if you click on Show More. When the letters are ready, I'm ready to move on to the next stage of the card. So I choose colours I want to use. The die, like I said, is a Cottage Cutz die. I've had it for a long time and it's not cutting terribly well. When I bought this, the die cut pieces used to just fall out of the die and be beautifully embossed. But now I have to use my pin tool and I have to use blue tack to help me extract it from the die. It's all right, but it was when I cut two pieces of paper together in my die cutting machine that I discovered the top one cut really well. So I thought, maybe if I use some release foam in my die. I have made another video detailing how to use this product. So I'll just run it through it very quickly here. Cut out the shape of your die from the release foam and you put the sticky side of the release foam face down on your die, run it through your die cutting machine, remove all the excess pieces, and then your die is ready for cutting the way you normally would. The white release foam is embedded in the die and it cuts really nicely. The lighting wasn't great there, but believe me, it really made a big difference. When I made the first card, I went from dark to light, from the top to the bottom of the card. And this time I decided to mix up the colours. I played around with this, had a bit of fun. When I assembled the pieces the way I wanted them, I brought in the letters, arranged those where I wanted them, and then picked up the lot with a piece of press and seal. This has to be done carefully. I'm not pretending that this is just super simple, but it's a very good way to pick up lots of die cuts together. And when you get used to the technique, it's not difficult at all. And it helps you to apply glue to the back of your project. And you can move it around a bit. I didn't place this very well, and you'll see later what I did to put that right. You need to press things down well. I hadn't pressed the letters well enough. But it's easy to put things right when you're using this product. I adhere down the bits that aren't stuck properly. Because I used glue on the back of the letters, I was able to have wiggle room to place them correctly. I popped on some blocks until it dried. When it was dry, I snipped off the pieces hanging over the edge and I applied, as berries, some Icon Crafts red embellishments. They look just like berries. I thought a pop of dark green was needed to break up the sides. Then applied some Nouveau shimmer pen to all of the leaves. Gorgeous shimmer on the card. Then I added more leaves at the bottom because I thought it looked as if the Peace and Joy was going to spill off the card. When I ran this through my die cutting machine, I was very disappointed. I thought, what? And then I realised it was because it was a £110 weight card, just needed to be pressed out of the die cut. I cut out lots of them and arranged them around the card, added little bits, put on the press and seal, tucked in some bits under the press and seal, lifted it all off and was able to apply the glue like I did before. Turned it back over, applied it to the card, pressed everything well down and then removed the press and seal and applied an acrylic block until it dried. I used my desktop machine to cut out the alphabet dies. This machine is so handy when you have a lot of repeat cutting to do. This die is really so much fun. This time I'm using a sort of a rose gold and the lighter metallic gold. I cut Christmas out of a Happy Christmas from Britannia dies, and the Have A comes from an alphabet set. Put double-sided tape on the back of the Jolly Holly, snipped off the pieces from the edge of the card. Wondered would I do it portrait or landscape, decided on portrait. Applied the letters to the card with the help of my tea ruler, and when everything was in place, I sort of stood back and looked and thought, that's a bit off centre, it's not visually pleasing. So I took a sliver off the side of the card. Following a tip from Jennifer Maguire there, I sanded off the edge of the card, embellishments back in place, and nobody would ever know the difference. It looked just fine and will fit in the same envelope. That made me think, looking at the other one, that I wasn't pleased with the placement of things. It just wasn't right. So I changed it up. I took out a square die, cut out the centre of the card, applied that to the edge of a panel, used the square die from the same set to cut out the peace and joy, harvested another little piece of the holly leaves for the centre of the card, put foam strips on the back of everything, which gave a lovely dimension to the card. And if you're wondering why I didn't use a roll of foam tape, I just have so many of these foam pieces in my stash, I have to use them up. And really, they were no problem at all. I didn't like the embellishments that I used on the previous card. They were just too much. So I cut out with the punctuation dies from the alphabet set. I cut out some berries. I got some white dots out of a drawer that I keep with dots that fall out of other dies, and I hold on to them in case I'd ever need them for snow or whatever, and that's what I hoped they'd look like on this card. So those are the 3 cards I made for today. I'm really pleased with them. I'd love to know what you think. Please do leave your opinions down below. I'd love if you would become a subscriber to my channel. You can do that below the video, or you can do it now on screen. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. That's really important. Until the next time, take care.